Graduation day had finally come, the culmination of years of hard work. The campus buzzed with energy, students and families mingling, laughter rising above the hum of conversation. For everyone else, this was a day of celebration, the end of one chapter and the beginning of something new. But as I stood in my cap and gown, surrounded by the excited chaos, I felt an undercurrent of uncertainty pulling at me. This should have been a moment of triumph, but instead I was caught between two different futures. The past few weeks had brought everything into sharp focus. Sebastian had been by my side through it all, steady, kind, and always there when I needed him. He understood my need for independence, respected it, and never tried to change who I was. He had been the perfect partner, supportive in ways that made me feel seen and valued. But then there was Samuel. I met Samuel during a group meeting right before graduation. Almost immediately, I felt something shift. He was different. His energy matched mine in a way I hadn't experienced before. He loved the same thrill of adventure, had the same restless spirit. With him, I didn't have to explain why I needed to disappear for a weekend to surf or why I craved the open road. He just got it. And suddenly, things that felt complicated with Sebastian seemed effortless with Samuel. Walking across the lawn, the voices of commencement speakers faded into the background as my thoughts took over. Sebastian had been so good to me, and yet here I was, standing at a crossroads. I glanced ahead and saw both of them waiting. Sebastian dressed sharply in his suit with that familiar warm smile, and Samuel, leaning casually against a tree, his easy grin lighting up his face when his eyes found mine. My heart twisted. Sebastian had always been loyal, the kind of person who didn't waver when things got tough. He had embraced my need for freedom without ever making me feel guilty about it. With him, I had stability, trust, and the comfort of knowing he would never let me down. He was a rock in the storm, steady and reliable, and his love for me was undeniable. But standing there, seeing Samuel across the way, I couldn't help but wonder if loyalty alone was enough. Samuel, with his wild spirit, mirrored my own thirst for adventure. With him, everything felt spontaneous, alive, like we could take on the world together without a plan. The decision weighed heavily on me. Sebastian represented safety, the kind of love that grounded you. Samuel was the thrill of the unknown, the excitement of never knowing what might come next. As I approached them, my thoughts raced, the noise of the crowd melting away into the background. Sebastian stepped forward first, his arms wrapping around me in a familiar hug. I sank into it for a moment, letting his warmth steady me, but I couldn't ignore the tension beneath the surface. He was smiling, but there was a question in his eyes, one that I wasn't sure I could answer. I thanked him, but my voice sounded tight, even to my own ears. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Samuel watching from a distance, his gaze steady, respectful. He didn't push forward or try to interrupt the moment, but the tension between us was unmistakable. It was as if we were two magnets, drawn together by something beyond our control. And that was the problem. With Samuel, everything felt so natural, like the pieces of a puzzle snapping into place. But did that mean Sebastian didn't fit anymore? The truth was, I had always feared being tied down. I needed my freedom, the ability to go wherever life pulled me. Sebastian had never tried to hold me back, but I knew that one day he would want more than I was ready to give. On the other hand, Samuel offered me the very thing I craved: adventure, spontaneity, a life without limits. But was it too easy? Was I letting myself be swept away by the thrill of something new, without considering what I might be leaving behind? As I stood between them, my mind felt like it was splitting in two. Sebastian with his loyalty and steady love, and Samuel with his electric connection, his understanding of my restless soul. Both offered something I wanted, but in such different ways. It wasn't just about choosing between two men. It was about choosing between two versions of my future. One was safe, the other uncertain, but thrilling. The weight of the moment pressed down on me as I looked between them. Sebastian was watching me closely, his brow furrowed in concern, as if he could sense the internal struggle I was trying so hard to hide. I had no answers for him, no easy way to resolve the conflict I felt. In the distance, Samuel caught my eye again, his smile sending a spark through me. He was everything Sebastian wasn't: unpredictable, adventurous, free. With him, I didn't have to explain my need to chase the horizon. He understood it because he felt the same. But could I rely on him? Could I count on him when life got tough? Or was he just a reflection of my own desire to keep moving, to never stand still? I didn't know. And that uncertainty made the choice even harder. As the celebration around me continued, I felt disconnected, like I was watching my own life from a distance. Sebastian's loyalty had always been his strength, but I wasn't sure if that was enough to hold my wild heart in place. With Samuel, the excitement was undeniable, but excitement alone didn't build a lasting connection. Was I ready to trade stability for passion? Or was there a way to find both? Sebastian's voice cut through my thoughts, gentle, but concerned. I nodded, offering him a small smile. But inside, I was anything but settled. How could I be? This wasn't just about love. It was about who I wanted to become. Did I want to build something steady and secure? Or was I meant to roam, untethered by commitments? The sun was beginning to dip low on the horizon, casting a golden glow over the campus. It was beautiful, but I barely noticed, too wrapped up in the decision that loomed over me. Sebastian or Samuel, stability or adventure. My heart pulled me in two directions, and no matter which path I chose, something would be left behind. I had thought graduation would be a clear ending to one chapter and the start of another. But standing here, torn between two futures, I felt stuck, unsure of which direction to take. Sebastian was everything I had known, everything that made sense. Samuel was everything I hadn't yet explored, everything that made my pulse quicken. As I walked back toward the ceremony, the crowd still buzzing with excitement, I realized that I couldn't make this decision today. The future remained just out of reach, and for now, I was left standing at the crossroads, my heart caught between the two men who held such different pieces of it. The answer would come eventually, but not today. Not yet.